Okay, get another round of coffee going for everybody, please. How's everybody doing? Y'all okay? Are you worried about your online bank account? Oh, you want the tummy rub? You want the tummy rub, huh? Can you help him out? I know you've been sitting next to him for a while. You probably know each other better than I do, so can you help him out with the tummy rub thing? Now, what's up, guys? I hope you're ready to get started. It's going to be a great day, too. We have lucky draw prizes. Anybody know about that? Yes. We did not give out anything yesterday simply because we wanted to reward the people that come back on day 2. So, lucky you. You could be walking away with some brand new devices today, and seeing as how the crowd has thinned out just a little bit, your chances just went up. So give yourselves a round of applause. A tummy rub. I'm just kidding. I'll get back to you with the full list of prizes just to keep you in suspense a little longer. Now, our next panel, as you all know, we'll be talking about security, cybersecurity. So just how worried are you when you go online? What's your biggest fear? Can we just have a show of hands to answer this question? What's your biggest fear when you go online? Any takers for this? This one is no prize lah, but it will get the energy going a bit. What is your biggest fear when you go online? My man in red. Sorry? Data protection. You're worried about your data. And you're on Facebook already, and you've got all those likes of pages and stuff. Well, if you're worried about your data, and you're worried about security, this is the panel for you. I know you're going to have loads of questions. Anirudh, do you have a special hashtag you want to start off for this, or shall we just use the old one? We can use the old one. So we're going to stick with MSMW Q&A, the hashtag for this one. Send in your questions via Twitter. We're going to have them on the tweet deck over there. So please do direct your question once again to hashtag MSMWQ&A, and we're going to try and answer some of those questions. Let me introduce you to our moderator, who will then in turn introduce his amazing panel of speakers. Now, Anirudh Bhatti is the co-founder of Wikimedia India, and he just told me how it got started. Basically, it stems from his love of uploading stuff on Wikipedia. He basically edits content on Wikipedia, and that's something he does as a hobby. And he put himself through law school, basically using Wikipedia. So that's an amazing story in its own right. He started Wikimedia 3 years ago with 6 other friends. And today he'll be speaking as well on the conceptual underpinnings of cyber laws. And he won't be focusing so much on any one particular nation when it comes to cyber laws, but basically you can understand some of the concepts already will include stuff.
It allows you to make free IDD calls. Therefore, if you want to have free IDD, forget about all those other guys maybe out there or so forth. Just buy some breakfast cereal. And imagine how many people ate breakfast cereals. The immediate impact of the Captain Crunch whistle was huge. The last story I wanted to tell you about the past is this mobile phone. Now, phones today, I guess, is, we have our Samsungs, our Android, we have our Apple phones. But back then, or a short while ago, not too long ago, the Motorola StarTAC was probably the phone to have. Probably because you could do this cool flip thing, you just flip it out and you extend the antenna. That whole process was part of the whole coolness factor of the StarTAC. It's nothing about you holding the phone, but really flipping that out. But the story I wanted to tell you about the Motorola StarTAC is this. You see, a very famous hacker called Kevin Mitnick, his expertise is social engineering. Now, Hunter talked a bit about social engineering just now. But what is social engineering? Social engineering is simply trying to persuade or to get information from you directly as a human. So what did Kevin Mitnick do? He found out who was the key product manager and engineer on the StarTAC project. He knew that this person was going on holiday at a particular point in time. He knew the subordinates. He knew who this person reported to. He made a telephone call into Motorola. And from that telephone call in Motorola, he went along something the lines like this. I know this person is away on holiday and they're not reachable. They promised to send me the details of the StarTAC device by email, but I think they probably forgot because they're in the airport now. Can you send it to me because it's pretty urgent? Guess what happened? The next person did send him that email purely from a phone call. And as a result, Kevin Mitnick was able to grab the blueprints and everything related to the Motorola StarTAC. Thankfully for Motorola, although I don't think it helped them today, but thankfully for Motorola at that time, he didn't do too much with it, and Motorola still had a very successful launch with the StarTAC. So these were really the actors in terms of cyber security and cyber threats not too long ago. But if we look at the threat landscape today, that has actually changed a lot. And today it's no longer maybe about fun, no longer about just the demonstration of skill. There's of course a huge element of financial gain involved. We hear things about banks being hacked, we hear things about credit card fraud, we hear things about various types of things, identity theft.
These systems through social engineering, of which Kevin Mitnick is an example. He was one of the first people who was prosecuted, and then he later came out and wrote a book about social engineering and how the human element is the weakest link in the security chain. And now cyber criminals are focusing on corporate espionage and targeting government data centers and websites. Information security issues are global. Law enforcement authorities recognize that the means available to investigate and prosecute are both local and international. This presents several challenges with regulating a market that is growing very fast and evolving, and at the same time permits multiple trades across different countries or jurisdictions. So this means that if a crime that occurs is transnational in nature, there are limits to how much the law can do to secure the rights of citizens and investors. There are a lot of limits to that. And this explains the paltry rate of successful prosecution, because not only is acquiring evidence, digital evidence, for securing a conviction as per the internet laws in any jurisdiction difficult, but at the same time, getting hold of the criminals who are based abroad poses a challenge in itself. However, there are some crimes that are called consensus crimes, and these have been uniformly implemented in many countries. These crimes can be categorized into these points. Unauthorized access. Unauthorized access is unlawful, has been made unlawful in a majority of countries. Wrongful tampering with files and data, which means unauthorized copying, modification, and destruction. Computer or network sabotage, viruses, worms, Trojan horses, denial of service attacks. Use of information systems to commit or advance traditional crimes, fraud, forgery, money laundering, acts of terrorism, computer-mediated espionage, violations against privacy in acquisition or use of personal data stored in private and government servers for private gain, theft or damage of computer hardware or software. So this demonstrates that there is consensus across the world on at least this spectrum of categories where
it's going to make things happen. It needs people with incentive and that contribution to put really everything into place. Any live questions?
Yeah, I think there were some live questions earlier. Guys, hands in the air. Okay, Anand, go right ahead.
One of my client is Visa CyberSource, and through that I get to read many reports on the cyber crime. So the first one is the technical question that per my knowledge, it's only 20% of the cyber crime is actually doing those kind of hackings like DDoS attacks and breaking the encryption, etc. 80% of the credit card fraud is friendly fraud done by friends, family, and just exploiting the stupidity of people, like having password as password. Like, so what are the top 3 things you can tell the audience here so that they can protect their online banking to social media to, safeguard against that getting hacked? For question number 1, that is a technical question. And another legal side question to Anirudh, that most of the law or legal framework of every country came from common law and then transferring into something written judicial law. Problem with the cyber law is it's all new to most of us, and again, policymakers are not aware of all the nooks and crooks of the whole system. So how we can have a comprehensive law at place when we don't understand it in a whole to start with? Thank you.
Right, thank you. I think I will take the first question on regards to how can you further protect yourself from all the internet threats. So if you recall the attack tree that I portrayed earlier, there are a couple of attack vectors that an attacker can go in and compromise your account. So if we picture the scenario like a house, first you have to protect your keys. Don't use a generic, very easy key which is available from anywhere in the public, and keep your keys to yourself. So the keys are one of the most important factors. Second is to have proper controls at the main gate. Means we are not saying that each and every component needs to be bolted with padlocks and whatnot, because that will take you forever to get into your house. But the infrastructure, especially those which are international,